All right, baby. Channeling Marshall Paul today. Where my dogs at? Oh, that's what I was feeling during the intro today. Where my dogs at? Homecoming tonight at Hampton. They got Edisto coming. Should be fun. Should be good times over there. Lots of good stuff happening on Lowco Friday night. I'm Justin Jarrett, joined as always by Wes Kerr, and we never know who's going to show up on Lowco Game Day Live. We already got one fellow waiting in the green room. He's just doing his banking over there, ready to talk football when we're ready for him. Joe Gray Peoples from Patrick Henry. They're still undefeated and got a tough test tonight, though, at Dorchester. That's going to be a scrappy, physical football game that they'll know they were in a football game when they get done with it, both sides of them. But we got some good ones on tap, Wes. We'll run it down real quick. I might even have a ticker for us here in just a minute. But starting with you got the schedule in front of you? You want to run down the lineup? Run down the lineup for
the high
us.
school league, 7-4A, and another big night over there is both teams in these matchups have a lot at stake, especially when you look at Hilton Head, Colleton County. That is looking like a must-win for the Seahawks after dropping their first region contest to Bluffton, so they will be on the road at Colleton. I will be at James Island against May River, first home game for the Sharks in quite a while, looking to make a statement against
August 25th. August 25th was the last time they played at home.
Yeah, so it's been quite a while. I was week 1, and now we're in week 7, so good to be back at home for the Sharks, and then Bluffton looking to make a statement of their own at Lucy Beckham, and that one could be an interesting contest against the Bengals. After what we've seen from Bluffton's offense, very explosive, so can they take it on the road against a stout Lucy Beckham squad? Then over a local matchup in Region 8-3A, Battery Creek at 0-7, taking on a Beaufort team in desperate need for a bounce back win after a tough loss to Philip Simmons. So a nice Lowco rivalry there. And then over in 2A, Ridgeland at Woodland. That's a very strong Woodland team. So, could be a challenging night for the Jags. And then the aforementioned game, Edisto at Hampton County Homecoming for the Canes against an Edisto team with some familiar faces. So that could be interesting. One, Whale Branch is off in Class 1A. So they will deserve the well-earned bye and take advantage of that. Coach Jarrett Hatcher squad resting up this Friday, and then over in Skeeza, a couple of interesting contests. Hilton Head Prep JP2. Prep looking to get off the schneid, get that first win, and they'll have an opportunity to do so against the John Paul II team that has struggled a bit these last few weeks, looking to get together over there. So could be an interesting contest over in Skeeza 3A. Hilton Head Christian Academy at Thomas Hayward in a non-region clash between two Lowco foes. And you got Tonio Banner on one side, you got a really deep, explosive offense on the other with Phil and Clark leading the way, and a really hungry defensive unit as well. So Hilton Head Christian Academy, Thomas Hayward, always a fun matchup over there. Patrick Henry against Dorchester. Now that one could be a ton of fun. You mentioned at the top as well, but that's a Dorchester team that's going to make you scrap and claw for a win, and they got some weapons on both ends. So Patrick Henry going to have to be at the top of their game for that one over in Class 1A, and then Beaufort Academy against Williamsburg, hosting the defending 2A state champion Stallions. I wish I could be at that one. I think that one is going to be a back and forth battle between two outstanding squads over there in 2A. So
I hope so, because I'm going to see the second half of it most likely. So I'd like it to be a good one.
Yeah.
I hope it's still competitive when I get around the corner, because I plan to check out Beaufort Battery Creek for a little bit and then go that way.
And Carleton Prep Bethesda Academy, which is a low-key.
That is an interesting game. No, that's high-key interesting to me.
Yeah.
I want to see if Bethesda's for real, and Carleton's a physical team. They're going to make you play a good game to beat them. So I'm interested in that one. Now, I think SAV is sending us highlights of that one, so should be able to check those out. Hopefully on Pigskin Live, we should have a package by then if all goes well. But yeah, that's a really interesting game, because obviously whoever wins that, then their game against BA becomes paramount. Get that 1 seed. But yeah, good lineup tonight. I mean, it tends to be when you get into region play, you don't have, they all have some kind of repercussions, so some kind of stakes, and that makes it fun. Creek's in a tough spot, man. They just don't have They don't have enough guys right now that can do it, and the ones that the ones that can are trying to carry a football team, and there's only about 4 or 5 of them, and that's not enough to do it. But they're gonna compete hard, but I just don't think they'll be able to hang with Beaufort. Hilton Head Colleton is very interesting to me. It's kind of clash of similar styles, and both are very physical. Want to win the line of scrimmage, want to run the ball, want to bend but don't break on defense. Just kind of mirror images in a lot of ways. But Colleton has more depth now. The quality of that depth may not be where they want it to be yet, but there's a lot of bodies over there, and if the morale's still good there going into homecoming tonight, I like their chances to keep it close and then have a
We
shot in the
should see a
fourth
ball
quarter.
game. This should be a ball
Yeah,
game.
I think
I
so.
you know, I think Colleton, from what we've seen, obviously there's been some low points for them, but to go over to North Charleston and get a big win there midway through the season, I think that says something about the ability of that group to respond after some adversity on and off the field a couple weeks back. So I think Kinlock's got this team in a good position, and I think they're going to battle tonight against Hilton Head. And conversely for the Seahawks, I mean, this is an absolutely massive game for them. Just Bluffton was the better team, and I thought the Seahawks did a lot of good things. I thought the defense battled.
Yeah,
We saw some improvements from some players in the secondary that showed out. So I think it's a team that's going to have to play composed and play and use that physicality, especially with Shake Thompson up front. But then you got Connor Wembo, who's had a really nice game, and a couple of linebackers that have stepped up as well. So I think this Hilton team, I mean, they had those 2 weeks off. I thought they played a strong game. Bluffton was just a little better. They executed better in the biggest moments of that game. But now you just got to get off the mat and continue to fight. And BJ Payne knows that very well as a wrestler himself. He's going to get this team ready for what should be a tremendous region fight, and one that should go down to the last few rounds.
great punnage, nice punnage. But Colleton, just a reminder that Colleton, gosh, I now I lost the number. I believe it was 28-1 is the record of the 5 teams that Colleton has lost to. So let's keep that in perspective. Yeah, they're getting beat, but man, they're playing some really quality football teams, and they're getting better. And now they get to play a team that they feel like is a little bit more on a level playing field as far as the competitive balance, and really they get a couple of those because I think even Bluffton and May River, they feel like it's a fair fight. Not saying they're going to beat them, but they feel like they can compete, and so it'll be interesting to see if Kinlock's still got that energy and that confidence and that positive spirit that he had going into the season. Then I think they'll be okay, and I think they
Yeah,
might be able
and
to
this one
surprise
is, I
somebody.
think,
But
if they can get this one, all bets are off for what they can
yeah,
do.
exactly. They just need to believe. That's all they need. And if they can, get one here, then look out. They might get another one or another two. But they can also go the other way. That's the thing about it. Sometimes you think it's one way, but it's the other way. It can go that way in a hurry. But James Island May River should be interesting. At least they're all interesting.
Yeah.
You can't find something of interest in any of these games, and you're looking at it from the wrong perspective. But Bluffton
I'm
and
excited
Becker,
to see this James Allen team in person.
they're interesting.
They are
Oh
really
yeah,
talented. Yeah.
I'm jealous about that. I think it's a good squad.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, we've rambled on a bit here, and we'll talk about some more games and see who pops in as they come. But we do have a gentleman who would love to speak with us about all kinds of things from out Hampton County way. We got Joe Gray Peoples joining us on the show. Coach, what's going on, man?
Hey, living the dream here in E-Town.
Yeah, baby, out in Estill. So we gave the folks a little rundown about your little health scare a couple weeks ago, and we're glad to hear you're feeling well and getting the vertigo under control. It's important to know what it is. That's the most important thing. You thought you might be having a stroke, so that was a scary proposition. But how you feeling, and how you feeling about the Patriots going into this game at Dorchester?
I feel great health-wise. Thinking about Dorchester. Dorchester is a tough place to play. I don't care what kind of team, what their record is. I think they're 4-2 right now. They beat their biggest win is against PD, the 3A defending state champs.
Yeah.
They now PD's down from where they were last year, but still, that's a great win. And I believe that was on the road, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So we know they can play. They've got quarterback Waylon Gruber's his name. He's a great athlete back there. He makes plays with his legs and his feet. They've got numerous running backs. They're big up front. I mean, looking at it from our perspective, this will be our biggest challenge so far to date. And especially going on the road. We've had some, we had Lee at home. That home field advantage for us, it's always big. That helped us there, but we'll be going on the road tonight. So we had a great week of practice, kind of a more laid back approach for us, trying to fine tune our offense. Our defense has been lights out all year, but got to get a little more consistent on offense. So hopefully we can put our offense together. I think we've got a great game plan for them. And, we've got so many weapons on offense between the Ferry twins, Al Tariq Johnson at the other split end, Michael Tucker Mathis in the backfield, Rylan Brunson. I mean, we're loaded with skill guys. So just go out there, have fun, and execute.
Great message.
Stricklander with a great drop in here. 4-6 in games where we play at DA. So Patrick Henry 4-6 at Dorchester Academy.
Yeah,
Stricklander's a great producer, remote producer.
Yes. Coach,
yeah, back when we played back during that time frame, this is the first time we played Dorchester there
since the 8-man days.
That's right, at least 23 years. They had a coach there. His name's Stanley Gruber. And if you look at the all-time winningest coaches in the state of South Carolina, I want to say he's in the top 10. He was a hard-nosed guy, and their football teams were always very, very good. So that's anyhow.
Yeah, Coach, Stricklander says about to be 5-6.
But Coach, great to see you doing well. But I want to hear about your 23-year-old assistant who came in as an interim role and showed out to lead those Patrick Henry Patriots to a big win a couple weeks back. So just tell me about the experience and how proud you were of what he did.
Oh, absolutely. Jackson Wiggins is his name, and he is an alum of Patrick Henry. He recently returned home a couple years ago from graduating from Coastal Carolina. And he's been an integral part of what we do on offense. And we basically run Jamie Chadwell, Coastal Carolina spread option offense. And he's instrumental in putting all of that together for us, calls all of our offensive plays. Sometimes I have to pull on the rope a little bit to kind of get him back and keep him see things that he might not be seeing.
He starts playing Madden.
He stepped up the other night for us, and it was a logical pick for me to have him do it because last year he ran our defense, and this year he's running our offense. And he did a great job the other night, and it's nice to have guys on your staff. I've got Anthony Creech runs the defense, has done a great job there. Michael Mathis coaches the defensive line. Spence Keeler coaches the offensive line. And let's see, John Sobey coaches our linebackers. Got a lot of coaches. Justin Scott, who is our AD, helps with the defensive side of the ball and with defensive backs and stuff like that. And they all, as a head coach, I can't ask for a better staff. I let them coach their positions and let them do what they feel like needs to be done. And it's a great feeling as a head coach knowing you have those guys that you can rely on.
Yeah. Well, and it's a testament to you too that you've, put them in positions where they can be successful even when you're not present, that they know that they have that it's kind of like letting a young catcher call his own game, and start to develop that and just see that you understand this. Okay. You get it. Just do it. I trust you to do this. So credit to you, coach, for creating that environment where those coaches can thrive and have some autonomy and work with the kids, because it showed out when you had that opportunity there. But good stuff from Jackson. You got, is he your coach in waiting now? You got to keep him protected so he doesn't get away.
He's not going anywhere. His family owns Wiggins and Son Hardware here in Estill, so he's not going anywhere. He's a Patrick Henry lifer.
All right, good deal.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome to hear. A guy that's waiting in the wings for his opportunity, and way to seize it there to lead this Patriots, and just good to see a guy come back home here and help out in the Lowco, and just someone who's passionate and willing to make a difference. So good on him, and thank you.
And he had the presence of mind, the wisdom to answer the phone at halftime when you called him.
Yeah. Going back to that game, and getting these crazy updates from whoever I could on what was going on. I was on the way back from the hospital in Charleston, and it's like, great pass from Hugh to Forrest, ... pass interference not called. And I'm like, well, what happened on that play? Or, great play by, Michael Tucker Mathis. And I'm like, okay, well, what was it?
Are we on offense or defense?
Offense, but yeah, Jackson. I called Jackson at halftime. I am glad he took the call, because I was like, all right, tell me what's going on. Tell me what's going on. As a head coach, I do not recommend missing a game. If you've got to go in a wheelchair, if they got to back the ambulance up, whatever you have to do not miss it, because, yes, I was not given a diagnosis of a stroke, but literally I almost had one from trying to keep up with what was going, but it's all good.
I just kept imagining, when you were telling me that the first time, I kept imagining the scene in Major League 2 when Lou Brown's in the hospital and he's watching the British drama, but he's got the baseball game in his ear, and he's like, I love this British crap. That's what I was imagining. But all right, Coach. Well, looking ahead, obviously you got Dorchester tonight. That Thomas Hayward game looms large. Chiming in. That Thomas Hayward game looms large. They got a big one with Christian Academy tonight. I don't think that they have enough guys to hang in there, but certainly I don't doubt Tony O'Banner's ability to keep them in the game.
Tony's averaging somewhere around 183 yards a game running the football. And I mean, he is I love the saying, the straw that stirs the drink.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he is it. And it'll be interesting.
He is him, as the kids say.
I actually spoke with Thomas Hayward's coach this week, and I told him, I said, I keep watching scores and how folks are doing throughout the year, and they seem to get better every week, and finding their groove with Tony back at quarterback, and they keep progressing every week, and it'll play. Sometimes it's difficult to judge Thomas Hayward because they play such a tough schedule, playing either AA or in this case AAA school, and it's difficult to judge really how good they are on a single A level because of that. But they are definitely trending in the right direction, and that game at the end of the year is looming large. I think there's possibly the number one seeds should be on the line for that game.
It's looking like it.
So
You guys have proved that you're right there at the top in Skiza 1A. So already circling our calendar. We've done that for a while to get ready for this Thomas Hayward Patrick Henry showdown in Week 10, which will be here before you know it. But looking from now till then, you still got a couple games left on the schedule to prepare yourselves for that. Of course, starting this week against a tough Dorchester team, and then going forward, a couple more contests before that final game. You got Andrew Jackson Academy as well. Just before that Week 10 clash, what do you want to see from your team to get to that next level to be ready to take on a Thomas Hayward Academy team that's ready for you guys?
Yeah, actually, we don't play Andrew Jackson. We actually
Right.
that game is now
Branchville.
we got Branchville High School. So, dipping our toes in the public school football a little bit there, see how we match up. But yeah, I keep telling our team I don't think we've played the best football we've played. We haven't played our best football this year. So keep building, and come Thomas Hayward. That's our goal. Is these next 2 games leading into Thomas Hayward, we want to be close to the crest of our ability and how we play, and take that into the playoffs. I also told my team I think this game tonight with Dorchester could possibly, if you win that game, that sews up at least a number 2 seed, which could mean the first 2 playoff games, assuming you win the first one, are at home. And we definitely know that we're going to be playing teams we've already played and possibly beaten, and just keep plugging along, keep getting better every week. And we felt like maybe in the Greenwood game, we were not playing the best. Even in the Calhoun game, we won that 35-0, but we still did not play the way we need to be playing. Come Thomas Hayward. So keep building, man. That's the whole thing. Keep trying to get there every week.
Keep running the race, man. Well, we'll let you get back to your banking so you can wrap things up in time to go line the field and all that stuff. Man of many hats.
I hear you. Thank y'all for all y'all do.
Yes, sir. We'll see you real soon.
All right, sounds good.
Take care. Love Joe Gray. Good people. Coach Peoples is good peoples. A lot of good folks out of Patrick Henry and out in Hampton County. Let's shout out some sponsors, Wes. If I can find my sheet here. We've got our MVP sponsors. We'll start it with my wife, Megan Jarrett, the official realtor of Lowco Sports. You can go see her this afternoon, actually 2 to 4. She's got a open house for a beautiful townhome in the towns at Buckwalter. So if you're looking for a townhouse in Bluffton, this one is really updated and renovated, and I was kind of jealous. I mean, I like my single family home, but that was a good looking townhome, and we did live there for a short period. Nice little neighborhood and a great spot. So anyway, Megan Jarrett, the official realtor of Lowco Sports. She's with the Pierce Group of EXP. She's also my wife, and she would love to help you find your starter home or forever home here in the Lowco. She's going to work for you every step of the way to make sure that you find the perfect spot. And then we're going to have our friends at Homegrown Home Inspections look it over from top to bottom to make sure it's a great investment and not going to be something that is a drain on your bank account. My guy, Jan Lucas, and his team are the best in the business in the Lowco. That's why they're the official home inspectors of Lowco Sports, Homegrown Home Inspections. Then when it's time to seal the deal, we'll go to the Mickelson Law Firm to sign the papers with the official real estate closing attorneys of Lowco Sports and our original sponsors since 2017, Ryan and Tiffany Mickelson. Do the most for our community, and they will do the most for you with your legal needs. They are MVP sponsors, along with Hospice Care of the Lowcountry and Palliative Care of the Lowcountry. Got to see the CEO and one of his staff members in action today at BNI, and they are just awesome. Actually, James presented today. I had some stats around here. It's an unreal number of people that they touch in our community, and prevent from dying in hospitals, frankly. Hospice care allows people to live out their final days in peace and harmony and with their loved ones in a comfortable environment. And they often, kind of make some wishes come true, some dreams come true at the end of life as well. So please support Hospice Care of the Lowcountry. They have a great fundraiser coming up next week with Harmonious out at Harbortown, jazz concert under the stars. So I hope you can make that if you're a jazz fan and support that great organization in our community. And Wes, now back to the games. We've got a bunch to talk about. Where do you want to delve? Where do you want to go?
Yeah,
Marcus Walsh is out of town. He's got a wedding up in New England, so he's out. Libby's working. I don't know. Sam's got business on the West Coast or something he's dealing with. Everybody's busy today. It seems like it's old times. You and me flying solo out here.
Yeah, well, let's start with Region 7 4A. Of course,
it's a good spot.
We mentioned Hilton Head College, and we talked a little about that one. But I want to talk about this Bluffton Lucy Beckham game because I think that sounds interesting. With the big win Bluffton had at home and an emotional Bridge Bowl, and now an opportunity to really test themselves against the Lucy Beckham team that now is ranked in the top 10 Class 4A and has taken the next step this year. So I think this is probably the biggest game, possibly the biggest game we've seen for Hayden Gregory and this Bobcat team, especially coming off another strong win over a good Hilton Head squad. So, in base, obviously the spotlight's going to be on him. He had a tremendous day throwing the football, and kind of the offense kind of goes as he goes, as we've kind of said. With he's got to stay consistent. He's got to take care of the football and get the ball out to his weapons who have been able to do some good damage when they get the ball in space. And Lucy Beckham's going to present a stout challenge up front, and Base is going to have to be careful and good with his decision making. So I think his play is going to be important. We'll be able to mix it up, get some designed runs in for him. But this offense has really been most effective when they've been able to get to their skilled playmakers on the outside. Darnell Warren alongside Brandon Bryant, and then how about Kyler Vick with a nice show-out performance, someone who we haven't really talked about much, but performing in a big-time region game in a rivalry game. So I like the way that Bluffton's offense is playing as we get into this region slate. But Lucy Beckham, what scares me about them is that rushing attack, that ground game, the blocking. You got
they'll wear you down. They'll wear you down.
Yeah, and Bryce Rothwell is one of the best in terms of a blocking tight end. Also can do some damage catching the ball, and then you got a trio of outstanding running backs with an excellent line. And they got 3 guys averaging over 9 yards per carry. So it's going to be a challenge defensively to stop this Lucy Beckham side. Hilton Head was able to do a good bit of damage, but you got to have those guys like Josh Bond and Shane Whitaker and Jeremiah Kerr who's going to have to be efficient, clogging up those running lanes. But if you're Bluffton, you're going to have to find a way to score points. You cannot. Yeah. You're going to have to keep up. So I think it's going to come down to the play of Bays, that offensive line, to get time for Bays to do his thing and to avoid mistakes. You have to play a near perfect game. I think if you want to come out with a road win on offense.
Yeah, I think they've got to be really, really sharp on offense because I think what's going to happen, and obviously I have no idea, but in my mind's eye, what's going to happen is over time that Beckham offense, that power run game is going to start to wear down Bluffton's defense. Bluffton's defense is tough, but that physical style of play over 4 quarters, it grinds on you. And so I think they're going to get some eventually in the second half. And so I think for Bluffton, they need to get out quick. I think they need to, whatever they've seen on film that they think they can exploit, they need to exploit it early and put them on their heels and make them make adjustments and get as many on the board as they can and hang on for dear life, which is, not quite what they did last week, but similar. You gotta be able to keep answering, putting up points, because once they get behind, if they get behind against that style of team, it's going to be difficult. But I do think in Bluffton's favor, this Beckham defense is disgustingly good. Like, they've allowed 20 points all year. But if you're going to get them, you're going to get them through the air. You're not going to get them on the ground. So that suits Bluffton as far as matchups go. And, I think they will be able to have more success on offense than anybody else who's played them up to this point, just because of their style of play. So it's going to be interesting. I think they may expose some things that we haven't seen exposed from Beckham yet, as far as making them get into some nickel and dime packages that, or make linebackers cover really good athletes in space and do some things that they haven't had to
Yeah.
do that will make that defense look a little different. And they are down the one kid, Beckham, I understand, is down the Drake Bull kid, who I think he's from Hilton Head originally. Really good defensive player. So, that's a factor as well. I think it's a competitive game. I would still probably give Beckham a little edge, but I think it's Bull's a good player. He's got only 12 tackles, but 8 tackles for loss and 3 sacks. So he's been, a
He's been a
menace.
presence on the line, so that's one less thing for the Bobcats to worry about. But I do favor Lucy Beckman in this one. But I think Bluffton has an opportunity here. I think you look at the way they've been playing offense and the way Owen Bates has just been able to improve his confidence of poise out there and to connect on those deep balls, which I don't know how much Beckham has really had time in terms of that long passing game and that explosive air raid offense. You don't see that from every opponent, so it's all matchup based. A lot of these games, and Bluffton has the chance to exploit that kind of matchup opportunity to shine with that passing game, and then to make the defense question himself. If they question himself early about how good it can be, then Bluffton can kind of get in their heads a little bit. So we'll see what can happen here at this region game. I think the Bobcats have a great statement opportunity here in this region. If they can get past Beckham, they are going to be looking pretty good 2-0. So we'll see if
and you said biggest game of Hayden Gregory's time there. And every time they win, it's going to get bigger. I mean, that's usually how it goes. It was like last year for Beaufort. Every game was the biggest game in Beaufort high history, and that's how it goes when you start getting to to territory you haven't been in yet. So it'd be great. Bluffton, James Island next week, both undefeated, would be fantastic.
Yeah, that would be a heck of a game. James Island, May River, I'll be at that one.
Yeah.
I would love to believe in the Sharks here, and Richard Bonneville's doing an excellent job. That team has really fought hard, especially the Gameday game a couple weeks ago, 7-0. They were a yard short of a Hail Mary tying pass. That team's going to fight, but James Island is just head and shoulders above them right now, and that defense is legit. Absolutely legit, and May River they're trying to find it. Tanner Macy's growing; he's had some good games, but James Island defense, that's on another level. I don't see May River. They're gonna have to get some explosive game-changing plays on defense, like forcing a fumble, taking a pick to the house, and then just find ways to play opportunistic football. But that is much easier said than done. I expect James Island to roll, especially in the second half in this one. But hopefully the Sharks will play a respectful game, put up a good showing, and find a way to hang around. And that's all you want as an underdog. Find a way to hang around in the second half.
Yeah, and you're at home. I mean, if your defense can keep you in it, you never know. But man, it seems like a tall task. I mean, if you think about like best case scenario on defense, like, okay, we hold them to 21, like that'd be a pretty good effort. That'd be lower than anybody else has held them all year. Better than Gameday did. And you're like, can we score more than 21 against them? Man, I just don't. Nobody scored more than 7 against them. So, just the numbers game doesn't add up there. But you never know. You never know. If they're laying odds, you'd stand to make a lot of money if you stepped out on the Sharks and they got it done. Battery Creek, Beaufort, there's not a whole lot to say. Beaufort is coming off a tough loss. They're going to be bitter about it. It's homecoming. It's their rival. I mean, if Bryce Labrin doesn't have them up for this game, then he's not who we thought he was. And I'm quite certain we know who he is. So they're going to be fired up. Battery Creek is going to be fired up too. Mm-hmm. The few guys who are still, believing, but man, it's just not going to be a fair fight.
Yeah, it's not. Beaufort should roll quickly in this one, and then that's a team that certainly had a setback on the road against a very good Phillips Simmons team. They're going to be ready to go back at home, homecoming. So a lot of excitement over the year at Ladies Island. But once again, like I said last night, credit to those Battery Creek guys that continue to fight. There's a couple of them on that team that they're
Some
playing out the
dogs.
string, and they are gonna battle until that last game. So we wish them all the best, but Buford, the more complete team on either side of the ball, that defense should be able to show out and wreak havoc back at the nest, whatever they call it over there at Buford, at these islands.
Yeah.
So
What do they call it? The nest, I guess. The
yeah.
airy. They should call it the airy. I like the airy. I don't know. The Isle of Ladies. We'll be
Isles of
on the
Ladies,
Isle
that's
of
a good
Ladies
that's
tonight. I like spending an evening on the Isle of Ladies on Friday. It's a great spot to be. Lots of good energy. Where should I eat over there? I guess I can hit up Brody's, try to get them
yeah,
back in
yeah,
the sponsor roundup.
yeah,
But man, there's lots of good places to eat over that way. Lots of good places. We
yeah.
might have to hit up our old friend Nick
Some
Field and see
some
where
grub
the
over
good
there
spot is,
before a
or
game.
Mike or Will Howe. I mean, I could always just pop by BA and see our friends Pat Mitchell and Warren Richards, and they'd probably
They
just
got a
hook me
nice
up with.
tailgate going on over there.
They
I was
got the
smelling some
good
good
stuff. They
food
got some
tonight.
fried shrimp and fried fish usually, and they got some burgers and all kind of good stuff. Wings. They hooked me up with wings last time I was over there. It's good stuff.
Um,
Good stuff.
Class
All right.
2A.
Yeah, keep rolling.
Yeah,
Keep us
Class
rolling.
2A, we got Ridgeland taking on a very good Woodland team, and Rodney Barr's done a good job with this Jaguar squad this year. Woodland's a pretty solid, the top 10 caliber team. So, it's going to take a lot for the Jags to pull off the upset on the road. But, tough showing against Hampton County. I thought they would try to, find a way to stay in that for a little longer. But now you get a new opportunity against Woodland, and we'll see how it goes for the Jags. But they've shown a lot this year, and that fight in the road, we saw that Badger Creek. We'll see if they can put something together against a good Woodland squad.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one for sure, especially on the road. Woodland is quite good. They've created a great environment there too. So I think that's going to be a tough one for Ridgeland, but. I do believe in the fight in that Ridgeland team. They're talented. They definitely are missing Maurice Brown. Devin Fields did a really good job to win that one game on the road at Bowman, but he's not yet what Maurice Brown is as far as a difference maker. I would love to have him back. Love to see them get him back in there. I'm not sure what his status is, but he makes a big difference. He's so electric, so athletic, and they have the guys to put around him. But much like Battery Creek, like regardless of the results, there's some really good football players on that team, and that's what I've learned as I get older is to appreciate even on a poor team, a team that is not getting results, to appreciate the individuals who are going hard every play and who are making plays and grinding and just the intrinsic motivation and motor that requires. And Ridgeland's got some of those guys. Winston Smith is an absolute beast.
Xavier
That guy's
Plowden,
undersized but plays huge. Xavier Plowden is a monster. He's physical monster too. But I mean, they've really got some guys who are impressive, and some of them will be back, and actually a lot of them will be Hardyville Hurricanes next year, which is going to be really interesting. Really interesting. There'll be a lot of storylines to cover there. Who will be the coach? My guy Rayleigh's got a master plan, bringing the Canes back. He had it going before they split them or brought them back together. Now they're split up, and Rayleigh's the principal now instead of the football coach, and he's ready to get those Canes up and running again. So that's going to be fun out there. Other 2A game, Hampton against Edisto. We talked about that a good bit. There's going to be a lot of emotion there. I think that it's going to be a really physical, hard-fought game, but I think Hampton should be able to take care of business. I mean, they're just so good on defense.
Yeah, that's really where it starts.
Zion, you can't stop Zion all night.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to find a way eventually to break through for a long touchdown run by the game's end. So, they've done a good job opening up holes for him. Then when he sees that space, he has the patience to dart through it, and then good luck catching him as he goes a distance. So it's going to take a heck of an effort from Edisto's defense. And then Hampton County, I mean, they have been shutting the door with that defensive front, Kayvon Chisholm. But, there's a lot of other guys who have have really risen to the challenge alongside those stars. So it's a really well-performing unit, and that coaching staff, man, they've done a yeoman's job to really get this team bought in with all the where my dog's at and the slideshow we saw with all the dog names. That has fired these kids up to really perform like dogs out in the field in every series. And, it's been really cool to see everybody buy in and to get the support of the fans. I just think that we're starting to see a great turnout every Friday night over at Hampton, and these fans are loving what they're seeing through the first half of the season. And we got a couple of big region games up ahead this week, and then you look ahead to a big chunk with Woodland a week from now, also over in Hampton County in Barnville.
God, I love Zion. He's so good. I saw he got an offer. He got an offer from Ottawa out in Kansas.
Yes.
In a really good NAIA program. And I saw that he's working with Steve Deanna, Coach Steve. I think that guy's a great guy. And we had a good little chat about Zion, who has excellent grades and an excellent outlook. He's not a D1 or bust guy. He believes he's a D1 football player, and I tend to agree. But he's not hung up on that. He's looking for an opportunity to go prove himself and get an education and put himself.
You never know what can happen after that. We've seen,
and that's absolutely right. I mean, that transfer portal is real. The graduate transfer thing is real. And if you know how to leverage it, it can really be awesome. And he gets it. So, I'm looking for
great interview as well. I got to talk to him a few weeks ago after the game. I was really impressed by the level of the responses that he gave, and that kind of sense of what I want to do as a player and how to discuss about what's going on with myself, what's going on with the team, and just that kind of humbleness that is what you see from some of the great players. He really has everything you want as a leader, as a producer on the field, and just a great guy to be around as a teammate. So really fun to watch his success, and really fits the nature of the team, and he said he's not satisfied with a top 5 ranking. He wants number 1. He wants to get the job done in November. So, when you have that guy motivating the rest of the squad, no limit to what this team could do. And I think they're right there among the top. Obviously, you got Great Collegiate, Oceanside Collegiate, but they're closing the gap. And it's obviously much easier said than done having to go up to Oceanside or Gray, one of those top 2A schools, but I think this team, the way they're playing the formula with that strong defense, they're going to give themselves a shot.
Yeah, and if I'll be at their place next week again for Woodland on WSAV, so looking forward to that. Me and Andrew Davis on the call up there. That's going to be a blast. We're going to try to get me some rigged.
Getting the 1 seed is going to be huge if they can get.
That's a huge game, right? That's why it matters so much. I mean, I guess it doesn't ultimately because you got to go through Oceanside either way. Oceanside gets the H in the 3rd round, so you've either got to play them. The 2 seed will have to play them in the game before Lower State, whatever that is, the 3rd round. I don't know. And then the 1 seed will have to play them the round after that. So either way, you got to go to them, but you'd want to play them around later so that there's just another chance for them to lose, and you might get to be at home against Woodland instead. So if Hampton can get that 1 seed, man, I don't know. You're playing with house money when you go into Oceanside, and I wouldn't bet against those guys playing with house money because when they can just lay it all on the line and have nothing to lose, boy, it could be special. It could be special. So I'm looking forward to following that team the rest of the way, probably as much as anyone. Them and Whale Branch. I think they're the 2 public school teams that really have a chance to make a deep run and play in Orangeburg at the end. And it's kind of a given that we're going to have SCISA teams there. Hilton Head Christian's looking like a true contender. BA definitely takes a step back with the Devontae Green injury, but it still looks like a team that could be at Charleston Southern. Carleton Prep is also an outside contender to get back there, I think. Patrick Henry and Thomas Hayward are both top contenders in 1A. Yeah. So, I mean, it's going to be – we're going to the end. We're going to the end.
Or maybe 2, who knows? Or I mean,
who knows?
We'll see what happens, but I think we will be well represented and make another trip, just like we started the season. Make another trip to finish off the SCISA slate. Back over to.
Let's hit some sponsors while we're talking about we were talking about Hampton County a lot. We can hit our varsity sponsors, and we'll start with Parker Law Group, our friends out there serving legal needs across Hampton, Colleton, and Jasper counties for years, and now they've jumped on as a sponsor to help us continue to expand our coverage into those counties and shine a light on more deserving teams and student athletes across the Lowcountry. So we appreciate their support, as well as the support of DDS Web Design, the official SEO experts of Lowco Sports. If you have a website that isn't getting clicks, or you just need to have a web presence, period, DDS Web Design will get you up and running and use the best SEO, search engine optimization tactics, to make sure you get found online, because they love to work with small businesses and nonprofits to help them get found online, to do more and think bigger. Hit them up at ddshhi.com and tell them Lowco sent you if you need to get that website going. But Wes, some more games on tap tonight. I didn't mean to cut you off a while ago, but how to get to those sponsors. So let's talk a little Skiza. We dabbled in some of those games. We talked Patrick Henry, obviously, at length. We touched a little on the Thomas Hayward Hilton Head Christian Academy game, but I would like to delve into that one a little bit more. Toddy coming home. That's fun. Yep. Tyree's got them fired up at Thomas Hayward. They're going to definitely come out and fight. But how long they can withstand it is kind of the question. Even BA, they went toe-to-toe for a while, but HHCA just wore them down.
Yeah, they just kept.
So it's going to be interesting.
They kept firing shots at them, and eventually BA just was unable to sustain that kind of offensive firepower that we saw in the second half, which was where they really pulled away, where Dylan Clark was lighting it up to Toddy Vincel, as you mentioned. I love that nickname, by the way. And then you got Gage Zadalokin and AJ Hop, this great security blankets to keep drives moving. It's been a really well machine from what we've seen with Ron Peduzzi and this offense. By the way, it's stepped up after obviously a couple of tough first games, but now it's really starting to click at the right time for these Eagles. And Clark's done he's an aggressive quarterback. He likes to throw it deep, but at the same time, he is really efficient in the way he runs the football. When he sees open space, he's going to take off, and it's really hard to stop. And I just don't think Thomas Hayward has the depth to be able to slow down for 4 quarters that this dynamic and high octane offense that we're going to see out there for Hilton Head Christian Academy. And then defensively, you can't sleep on Zane Wilson and some of those veterans out there who have been around this system for a while. Wilson did an excellent job against Buford Academy, and Tucker Tivapal he's making a case for the most valuable players on this team. By the way, he just seamlessly defends the passing game, and he'll come up and make tackles, and obviously his skills playing the football. But Tivapal, that guy is such a built athlete. He had a couple drops, could have had a lot more picks in that game against BA, but he is quite a high IQ player that just is a perfect leader and for this Hilton Head Christian Academy team, and really does a good job of putting himself in the best position to make plays in the football and directing his teammates to do the same thing. So Tivapal is such a huge factor of why this Hilton Head Christian Academy defense has really clicked, and maybe we'll see. Robin didn't say he won't get much time on offense, but he's a guy that he can step in and get some production as well with the ball in hand. So we'll see what happens as the year goes on, because we saw Jace Blackshear play more both ways as he's progressed for those state champion Eagles. Thomas Hayward, what a job that McGarry has done with taking advantage of those banners, athleticism. It's just in this matchup that you have arguably one of the best athletes in the field. But to win football games, you got to have the depth, and Christian Academy is far and away the team with greater depth. And I think that's really going to show itself in a game like this, where a lot of these Hayward players have to go both ways. There's some dependable guys. You look at Bo Pinkney and look at Cutter Williams. Players that they're going to have to step up, play big games if Thomas Hayward wants to come away with a victory at home. But I just think only Christian Academy is a little more deep, a little more prepared for a contest like this. I think HHCA finds an opportunity to pull away midway through and gets past Thomas Hayward. But I think if you're THA, you look at a big picture. We're really thinking ahead to the Patrick Henry game. We want to improve. We want to get better. But we don't want to lose anyone to a game like this, which ultimately doesn't matter. So there's a couple different philosophies here that you're going to see with the Gary and this Halo team coming into this week.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, you want to win this game, but the number one most important thing is Tony O'Banner has to walk off the field at the end. You know, like that's the number one thing for them. Because if that doesn't happen, then it's not going to be good. But like you said, tremendous coaching job, tremendous job by the kids. I mean, going into this season, there was every reason to think that it was going to be a down year for Thomas Hayward, and not like down from where they've been, but like down, you know, like rebuilding year type thing. And there was worry that, oh, if Tony leaves, then they'll have nothing, you know, and lo and behold, you know, they lose the first one to John Paul, and that just reinforces all the concerns. And then they just come out and work the last four people and look good doing it, you know. So just a huge credit to them and the difference we saw from week 0 to now. The job they've done, both the coaching staff and instilling it, and the kids and buying into it and executing. Because, you know, like Tyree alluded to the other night, he can't go out there and make the plays anymore. He can hype them up to do it, but he can't do it anymore. So they're the guys doing the job, and credit to them. But you did mention AJ Haupt, and I just wanted to show this, which is AJ Haupt writing number 55 on his wristband, and then he's got the long live DJ. Just a really cool tribute that he does. Some kind of tribute every game to DJ Fields, who obviously no longer with us, and tragic story, who was killed in a tragic gun violence incident, mistaken identity 3 years back, I guess it was back in 2020, right?
Yeah.
21, yeah, because it was coming out of COVID, and Hilton Head was playing in the state championship basketball game that day. Just a horrible day in the Lowcountry, but you know, a lot of and you know, I saw one of the young men was convicted the other day. So just sending love and peace and healing to the Bryants and all their friends and family and loved ones who are affected by that loss too. Because DJ was the best of us. You know, he was just an integral part of the community and a great shining example of what the community can be about. And so we love that kid. We love that family and that community, and just want to send them love today. But shout out to AJ Haupt for an awesome tribute each time out. Of course, his pops was the coach at Bluffton, and DJ was like a big brother to him growing up around that program. So just a cool thing. And another example of, you know, we talk about rivalries and this school against that school and all that stuff, but man, we're all one community. We're all intertwined in some way or another.
That interview with John Haupt was one of the best we've ever done. I get chills thinking about that message, because it really is. At the end of the day, we're all on one team, and we're all going to support each other. And the words that he had to say at that moment, in a very tough moment to his team, just so inspirational, and just gives me chills thinking about what he has been able to do to, you know, console a community in absolute, you know, sadness after something like that, and to inspire us that things can get better, and we have it in ourselves to produce and cultivate a community that cares for each other. So what a great individual, and just awesome to see him continuing to coach and inspire so many different generations here in the Lowcountry, and he's doing great work for that Hilton Christian County team.
Yeah, I can only imagine the grief that he felt every day still being at Bluffton and being around that program and those guys. And I would imagine that there was some catharsis in stepping away and finding a new home and kind of a fresh start and a new, just a new set of clothes, you know, like just that don't have so much baggage. And he seems to be really happy, and his family seems to be really happy at Hilton Head Christian Academy, and kudos to them for finding that place of solace in the grief. And hopefully the Bryants continue to, you know, find solace wherever they can. Dwan Fields and Kima Bryant. I mean, the Fields family is integral to this community, of course. And Dewan is the AD at Bluffton Middle School. So he's just so invested in our kids and our community. And that's why our community hurt so much for them when they had their loss, because we felt
And Bluffton, we saw the helmets of Long Live DJ.
Yeah.
They continue to, remember him and what he went through.
Yeah.
Because some of those players, he was an upperclassman while they were there. So it means a lot to them as well.
It's really cool. It's really cool how his legacy lives on and that continues to be a thing. And I see his mom post all the time. Like she'll see somebody in a drive-through at Wendy's or something, and they're wearing their Long Live DJ or Live Like DJ bracelet or whatever. It's like, oh man, it's cool stuff. But back to the football, back to the foosball, our distraction from the realities of the world. Carleton Prep at Bethesda, we talked about that a little bit. That's interesting to me. Carleton Prep, I feel like, has been playing it close to the vest, and like they've not shown a lot with Cole at times, trying to keep him healthy for the games that matter, and they still keep winning and developing guys, and it's kind of exciting to me. I think they might be poised to sneak up on some people.
This is going to be an interesting one, though. Bethesda Academy off to a 7-0 start. Their offense has been looking good. And the defense has been stepping up as well, albeit against some slightly. They haven't played a dynamite schedule against the strongest of teams. Hilton Prep, JP2. Cross Episcopal, promote. So I haven't really seen them against a very good team yet. So it's going to see what they do against Carleton Prep. I think Carleton Prep might pull it out here at home. Bethesda has some athletes. They've been ultra impressive, especially with their quickness and that overall sense of we're going to continue to run at you and get some blocks in there and move the ball. And I think this Carleton Prep team has what it takes to kind of sneak up on them. Greg Langdale. He has been quite the coach this year for the Warhawks, and I am very impressed by, especially with all they've lost on the offensive line. And I have those other players
Smoke
that
and
were
mirrors, man.
don't have, and I thought it would be a bit of a downgrade, but they've just been rolling through. Obviously, they had that weird 3-0 win over Memorial Day, but after that, two very
but that game didn't really happen.
Your business against Spartanburg Christian, Greenwood Christian, 36-14, 32-14. So the defense has been playing solid, and they've been opportunistic offensively. So, you gotta like what you're seeing right now, and I think they're in a good spot, and I think they find a way to. Excuse me, it is an away game at Bethesda Academy. I was looking at Bethesda's.
At Bethesda in Savannah.
Game, but that's it's a winnable game for Carleton Prep, and I don't see much in terms of Cole Davis. And you mentioned playing the cards to the vest, but if you win this one, it sets you up for an opportunity against Beaufort Academy, and it's been proven to be a heck of a rivalry, especially from what we saw last year. So chances there for Carleton Prep to make some noise, and they've got a bunch of guys who just have that little chip on their shoulder and determination on the field. And I think we're going to see a lot from that group as a whole as we go forward this year. So I'm definitely pumped to see what Carleton Prep can do. And, they've got themselves a chance to once again, be that kind of team that comes out of nowhere. So wish the Warhawks the best of luck, and it's been great to cover Greg Langdale and add them to our coverage area, and to see how, because they had a couple of years where they were close. They had a really good quarterback a couple years back in Drew Murdoch, and man, it's just they were very, very close to making noise, and they were able to really get it going last year, get the state championship game. Cole Davis, when he's on the field, he can throw some dimes and hook up seamlessly. So he looks the part of a guy who can do some.
He at this point he reminds me of the Spivey kid from PD, and the way he's just the biggest, most physical presence on the field. And he just inserts his will. He decides to go, and you stop him. And until he gets the first down or gets the end zone or whatever his goal is on that play. He's impressive. And, I think he was a little banged early, and they held him back and made sure he got right for these games at the end. So I think we're going to see him go all out and making some noise. And if they don't win tonight, I expect it to be competitive. But Bethesda has been exceptional. Like they've had a really good year, and that's a really well coached team as well. Antoine Turner does a great job over there. So, yeah, if that was like out my back door, I'd be at that game. Like if all things were equal, I'd probably be there. As far as just the matchups go, I like that one a lot. I think it's fun. But there's lots of fun ones. There's lots of good ones. I'd be many places if I could.
Yeah.
Patrick Henry DA is fun too. I'd be there too.
Yeah.
Plus, I just get to see a lot of cool people. That's why I like to hop games. I get to see more people, take more selfies. Demand a selfie tonight, people. If you see me, let's get a selfie. I like posting the selfies.
Put it on our Instagram.
It's a great reminder of all the great people I saw that night.
Yeah,
I've been putting them on Insta. It's fun. But well, we hit an hour, Wes. Shall we call it?
Any more games?
Shall we call it a game? We kind of got through mostly.
HHG,
Prep
JP2. Prep JP2.
Yeah. I thought we talked about it a good bit, though.
Yeah, we did talk about it a little last night, but just real quick, that's a game that I think is up for grabs. I think Hilton Head Prep, by the way that they showed themselves against still a tough Lawrence Christian team. I think they're close to picking up a win. And JP2, when they lost HE4, he unfortunately has been banged up for a while, and it kind of gets to you when you lose that talented star player. Now there have been some guys who have shown some good things, both sides of the ball, but Hilton Head Prep, I think they're just really continuing to chip away, battle, and I just have a sense that Dustin Etheridge is going to get his team ready, and they're going to come in JP2 and get it done. I think this is the week for Hilton Head Prep. I absolutely am on board with that. I thought
I don't know that I have the confidence you do, but I believe it. Like I'm sold on the idea. I said it last night, and now I do remember that was last night that we talked about this. The days run together. But I do believe that Hilton Head Prep is probably the tougher team as far as just hard-nosed toughness and mental toughness goes. I've seen that from them. They fight, dude. Like they are fighters, and they have to be, because what do they have, like 18 guys or something? Like they just don't have enough to not be, or they just have to forfeit. So they're gonna battle, and I think JP2. Yeah, they started with vim and vigor. They got that win against Thomas Hayward, and then they got punched in the mouth a few times, and it's been rough. And they're both on the cusp of wanting to give up. They have to be. And I think JP2, this is like their last win in their
It's one of those games where
this
probably the winner gets to the 8 seed or gets into that playoff.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Congrats. But you might get to a rematch with Hilton Head Christian if you get it. Like that could be kind of cool. Actually, you probably have to go to Wilson Hall, so that's no fun. No fun at all. But yeah, it's I kind of feel like whoever gets on top early is going to be in really good shape, because I mean, both of their confidence just has to be waning. It just has to be really on fumes. And I feel like if you can deliver a couple punches early, you might be able to just hang on, and just ride it out.
Prep has a chance, and I just look to in a game so evenly matched. Do you have that player on the field, that elite individual that puts your team at the top? It's AJ Barger. AJ Barger is the guy for Hilton Head Prep. They're going to look to get him.
He is.
And he can deliver. I mean, downfield as a receiver, but, just letting him be a force no matter where he is, and just letting him be an athlete. He can block. He can handle it as a running back, and he's a monster on defense. I think if you can get him involved, and if JP2 is unable to stop him, I think that gives Hilton Head Prep an edge.
Yeah.
And, they've got a couple of guys supporting him. I mentioned that, Richie's having a nice game or a nice season defensively.
Yeah.
Butler had a really good game, picking off a pass. And then, they've got some guys who are scrapping and fighting. And as you said, they have become the more physical unit. And they've, when you haven't gotten that win and you're looking to do it for the first time since the 21 season, it gets to you. And these guys just 11, 12, 13 men strong. They're not the deepest, obviously, but they're going to give you everything they have. And AJ Barger, I want it for him more than anyone. Those seniors, but AJ Barger, I mean, he deserves this. Etheridge deserves.
We talked about that earlier. I said that earlier. Sometimes you got lousy teams that have really good players on them, and he's one of them that has played so hard every game in games they had no chance. And so, I feel you there. I definitely feel you there. I feel the same way about Christian Tilton and the way his senior year is going. And basically it's going to come down to a battle of wills between those two guys. And whichever one's teammates are able to step up and do just a little bit more will be the ones who get it done. But I do think the hunger and the toughness in prep, if it's a close game late, I think they find a way to pull it out, because I just think they are so hungry and they've been working so hard for it. I think they're going to find a way to get over the finish line if it's close. So we'll see. We'll find out soon enough. By the time we see you again at 11:30 tonight, we'll know all the answers.
Speaking of which, before we wrap this up, of course, we wanted to give a quick shout about the Pick'em game that we do every week. Because we had something cool happen. We had two guys, Mr. Ritchie and Dylan Price, not only go 10 for 10 on the picks, but also predict the tiebreaker question correctly, which was how many points would Bluffton score combined, which was 52. We had 252 picks and 2 perfect 10
They
for 10
both
picks.
nailed it?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
That's
remarkable. That is remarkable.
Yeah.
Kudos. Dylan and John Britchke. Is that who it was? Yeah. Yep. Nice work. I always forget to do my picks, but it's fine. It's all right. It keeps me out of trouble. All right. Well, that's let's call it a show, and we should have better audience participation tonight. It is 12:30 in the afternoon after all, lunchtime on Friday. We're trying to get you out of the second half of your workday. You got to go watch Game Day live, but I guess it hasn't risen to that level yet. We got to get it to Super Bowl levels where everybody watches, and then we'll be all set. You'll just get excuse note for your boss to go watch Game Day live. So, all right. Well, the rest of y'all watch it later, and we'll see you out there. We'll see you online. We'll be updating where we can, where the service allows, and then we'll all meet up back here 11:30 p.m. for Lowco Pigskin Live's Week 7 recap show. Should be a good time. Thanks to all of our sponsors, including our Lowco Booster Club that I didn't shout out yet. We got Prime IV Hydration and Wellness now open in Belfair Town Village. Go get the massage chair and the IV drip. Rooted Living Wellness. My guy Ambrose Cole is a chiropractor over there. You're doing the ART chiropractic, great for athletes. He'd love to work with you to talk about any recurring pain you have or prevention stuff. Go see him for great insight on your body and learn how to feel better. Barefoot Floor Care, the Lowcountry. Chris Odom gets all those floors clean. He threw a different kind of floor at me today. Stone. You can do stone floors too. I told you, wood floors, tile floors, vinyl floors, stone floors. He'll do the ceilings, the carpet, the upholstery. They'll do residential and commercial, and they want to expand to Beaufort. So let them know if you need them to get the floors so clean your feet will thank you at Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry. Eagle Creations for all your promotional items, apparel, gear, awards, proudly Southern gift baskets, you name it. They're over on Argent Boulevard. And the Court Lifestyle Pros, Daniel and Debbie Court, Lowcountry natives selling the Lowco lifestyle on Hilton Head Island. That's the Lowco Booster Club for 23-24 so far. If you want to join the roster, hit me up at lowcosports@gmail.com, LOWCO sports@gmail.com. It is time for us to charge the devices and charge ourselves with a little nap this afternoon before we go hit it under the Friday Night Lights. We'll see you out there. For Wes Kerr, I'm Justin Jarrett. We'll see you at 11:30 p.m. Until next time, go Lowco.